welcome to VIP Podcast, or VIP Bell to Bell Podcast. We're on about episode 180 something, might even be more than that, but it's good to be here again this week. And you know our regular there, John Evans, and our special guest this week, he's straight off the set in Walford. Don't know about what he knows about boxing because he's an actor. It's Ian Bill from EastEnders. How are you, Ian?
I'm all right.
How's life in Walford? How's Turki Dana and all that?
You know what? One time, right, I boxed in the Golden Contract the night before I boxed Lee Wood, and I stayed in it was Watford. I think it might be Watford, not far away. And I went down to see the studio because it said it's in Walford. Is it Walford? And I went down there, and there was nothing there. I thought it was going to be a square, but it must just be an acting a studio inside. It was like a big, it was like units, big warehouses, but there's nothing there. You know, I thought it was going to be a real street.
Well, anyway, but if you know Ian Bill isn't Ian Bill, it's Jazza Dickens. Jazza, where are you in the world? Are you in Dubai or are you in Liverpool?
Yeah, Dubai.
So you're back in the gym, ready for your next assignment. Any news after the Zelf Barrett win? What's next?
Yeah, something has come about, but I can't announce it yet because it's not out there. But hopefully something, a big fight comes along. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I know, Jazz, you were waiting, weren't you? And a lot of people thought that Jazza Dickens came back against Zelfa that night. But you were telling me the other week, you never really went away, did you? It was just rediscovering what made you good all them years ago and digging it back out of the toolbox again. Yeah,
John, that's exactly what it was. And like you know, lads, if you're not seeing someone on the telly or they're not active regular, then you just assume that they're doing that away somewhere in the corner, don't you? So that's just that was the case.
Yeah. And before we crack on with the pod, the 6 3-minute rounds and non-stop boxing talk, Jagger, tell us the difference, or not difference, what Albert the trainer has done. I don't want to try and pronounce his surname because I remember him at the old MGM gym in Marbella many moons ago when I was working for Box Nation. And even back then, I remember Derry Matthews telling me what a great trainer he was. And he was working with everyone in that gym, even if he wasn't in the corner with them. He was working technical with them, helping them with bits. Your smile on your face says it all. Tell me what he's doing for you.
Yeah, well, I've been practicing on, I think it's Petrian. Albert Petrian. So the proof's in the pudding, really, Steve. What maybe you've seen from the last few fights, which was nothing wrong with the coaching from the last few fights. But, just like my style, just working with me. And I think that I don't believe there's any such thing as like trainer of the universe. Not like people get trainer of the year based on the accomplishments, don't they? But then again, like if they didn't have them fighters as well, it wouldn't work. So I just believe that a fighter and a trainer, it's a unique relationship, and there's not such best thing as the best trainer around. It's just the best trainer for that fighter, you know. Yeah.
Well, I say we'll crack on with the pod now. 6 3-minute rounds, and after 3 minutes now, we do stop Jazza. John, you can hear the bell, and John stops us. He gets, he's okay, but he'll stop you talking after 3 minutes.
Have we got a real bell yet, or is it still our school bell?
It's like a real school bell.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll crack on. Are you ready to start timing, John?
Ready.
Round one, Jazza, you want to talk about the Turki and Dana loving that rock boxing last week?
Yeah, I think it's unbelievable for boxing, and they're talking about a boxing league. I've always thought a boxing league would be amazing, and I've always got like these ideas and concepts what it would be like. Would you have a League 2? Would you have a league for 4-round fighters, which would then qualify after so many fights into League 6-round fighters, 8-round fighters? And would there be points disqualified if a fighter didn't take a fight and he avoided other fighters? And just how it could all work. Could they have them one in every country? Could they then qualify and have a World Cup every year? I just think it's amazing. And I think that if you give one person the full control, obviously, if you get the full control, then it can't become corrupt, as the old saying goes. But I think that it's worth the risk, because it's not like Turki Al-Sheikh, he's in it for the money and he wants to take from boxing like everybody else does take from boxing. A long time since there's been someone like him who just wants to give to boxing. Obviously, it's a business for him, and he's obviously going to take out of it, but I think that he's just given to the sport, and I think he can be good for the sport. The only thing I do think about is where does it leave the other promoters, which you wouldn't like to see top promoters and just dwindle away because they're losing control of the big fighters. But then boxing's boxing, isn't it? And like there'll always be some kind of promotional going on. So yeah, I think it's fantastic for boxing. And Dana White's got the recipe, hasn't he? Because he's monetized the full sport himself. So maybe, who knows? I think it can be good, and I think it's good to have an optimistic outlook. So yeah, what's your opinion?
John?
Yeah, first of all, I think Dana White is brilliant for it. I think most recognisable face in fight sports, and he approaches it in a completely different way. So he'll definitely bring more eyeballs, won't he? I'm just not sure how you can... this league has got to just be for the top guys, hasn't it? Because obviously Turkey's not going to get involved with area title levels and English title level fights. So I wonder how will that affect the domestic scene? You can't be expecting promoters to be spending all the money putting on English and British title fights and then not getting big fights as well as part of that. So I'm not sure how that'll work. But if it's just the elite who can dip in and out and take fights as part of the promotional contract in this league, then yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, but you can see how messy it's going to become. There'll be guys under contract at the moment who can't jump into it. Is Dana going to do it like the UFC, where he takes fighters to the UFC from the other organisations, promoters? Is it going to work like that way? Look, I just think it's good for boxing. The people that are really worried about what happens to the other promoters are those of us in the trade: boxers, pundits, matchmakers, managers, journalists. The man in the street, I don't think they give a monkey who promotes the fight as long as it's the best. Because round two, I'm carrying on from that theme, and just something I saw this morning. One champ, less weights, that sort of thing. I don't know how that would work with going back to 8 weights, because you know what? You can't say, have 126 as one division and then 135 pounds. It's just ridiculous. And you know what I think that'll lead to? More fighters juicing to get up to these weights, who are naturally around 126, 130. So if you had featherweight and then lightweight.
Yeah, what do you think it'd involve people juicing to get up to the higher weight? Or do you think it'd involve people, or do you think it'd involve people doing drastic things to get to the lower weight to make sure they were bigger and stronger?
But both ways, John. But the one that disturbs me, I mean, the drastic weight's worrying and what that could lead to, but also just as worrying is the amount of juicing that's going to go on. It's bad enough in boxing now.
Yeah.
Yeah, my weight class in the Olympic sports, I was on the GB team to go nurture me on towards the Olympics, and he took my weight class out, and he went from, remember it was 51, 54, 57, and he went from 52 to 56, and it left a lot of fighters in the lurch, top fighters, good fighters who have been brought along for this weight category. They put the women's boxing in, great for the women's boxing, but then again, he took 3 weights out, and it was devastating for a lot of fighters. So I wouldn't like to see that happen, and then you're less likely to see the unification fights, and not the unification, it's the what do you call when two fighters one goes up, catch weight fights and stuff like that. Yeah, so I never heard that before. I didn't know until you said it then, Steve. It
was just this morning, the interview that Dana White's done with ESPN, where he suggested it. I mean, the one champion of division's fantastic, but the weight, it does really worries me.
UFC's got cut down weight classes, hasn't it? Maybe, Steve, maybe you won't look at combining them. Maybe this league will just involve those weight classes. So
possibly,
So say light middleweight still exists, but it's not part of a league. Because trying to run 17 consecutive leagues for all 17 weight classes is impossible, isn't it? So strawweight might be left out. So maybe when he says it'll just be certain weight classes, it means that they'll be the ones that are concentrated on.
And imagine the league format, the people how they would get behind the fighters, and you get the social media around the fighters, because you remember the Contender, we loved them people, didn't we? So if they done media around the league, you love who you love, and it'd be great, I think, for the characters of the fighters.
Steve, do you reckon it'd be half and half scarves?
Don't go at football. Don't get me going on half and half scarves at football. You know what? If I did 10 things I hate in the world, half and half scarves. I mean, I was walking through Manchester yesterday with my wife And all these tourists with half and half scarves. Didn't have to have his Arsenal or Man U. Oh, mate, you should have seen Manchester yesterday. A wash with more half and half scarves than they were at Old Trafford. Anyway, round 3, John. Hrgovic, he's facing Joyce. Jumping.
Yeah, Dillian White pulling out of his fight with Joyce with his cut finger. Joe must have been sat by his phone wondering who they were going to get him. You know, what kind of late substitute are they going to get him? And all of a sudden, Filip Hrgovic pops up. And I just thought, poor Joe. You know, talk about out of a frying pan into a fire there. Dillian's coming to the end of his career. Joe, he's at the end of his as well. But he might have seen a way to beat Dillian. All of a sudden, he's got Filip Hrgovic with something to prove. And it's a real horrible night's work for Joe, that. You know, fingers crossed he's got something left in and he can do it, because I think we all like Joe, don't we? We'd all like to see him do well. But I think he's drawn a bit of a short straw here getting Hrgovic. You
know what? When I saw that fight, look, obviously it's great. It's a great fight for the crowd in Manchester on the 5th of April. Great for TV. But, whoa, I know it, you know, unless Hrgovic has been totally spent by the Dubois fight, which I don't think. It's almost as if they're bringing some. I can't see beyond Hrgovic not beating Joe, but Joe's management have taken the fight, and I was a bit perplexed. They took that fight, given, as you say, the Dillian fight. On Dillian's last fight, look, Joe's past his best, Dillian's past his best. On Dillian's last fight against the African, Emmanuel Tete, was it, or Ebenezer Tete in Spain or Gibraltar? You'd be backing Joe, even though he's at the last platform himself to win. But Hrgovic is a whole different, and he's got it all to prove and to get back into the title picture as well. Totally wrong for him.
Maybe I think that Joe's just in a position now where he says, if I'm never going to do it, I'll do it now. I'm not here for the money. It's a hard life to live. And maybe if I'm ever going to do something in the sport and ever going to win that world title, maybe just go for it now. Sometimes you can be in that position where you just want the answer. You know, am I good enough for him? Not because if I can't beat Hrgovic, I won't achieve my dream. So maybe he's in that boat. You know, maybe you will get the answers either way.
Yeah, you're right, Jazz. And maybe he's just thought, right, this is it. You know, no more long training camps. If I take a gimme, it's another 8 months on my career. Let's just cut to the chase now. If, like you said exactly, then if you can't beat Hrgovic, you're not winning a world title, are you?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe it's right, but all I can see is like a fired up Hrgovic coming in with something to prove and really giving him the business there. I'm afraid for Joe.
Yeah, and Joe's not an easy fight for anyone else either, is he? So maybe Hrgovic just said the same. If I can't do it against him, then
round 4, Jazza, and you're going to pay tribute to one of your fellow Scousers, Tasha Jonas.
Tasha Jonas, was so proud of her. She's done amazing in the sport, and it was a tough night for her, didn't it? And but you know, she's done amazing things in the sport, and I've seen on the line. What I'm really going on about here is the online haters. I don't know if you've seen it afterwards. Like a lot of fighters having a go at a woman. It's crazy to me. Like, deserves nothing but honour and respect to hard working woman, and she just has an amazing sport. That's all I want to say really, is that congratulations to Tasha, no matter what you do in the sport. I think the commentary and stuff like that, I think they all made it clear that they want to see her retire, but I don't know if she wants to retire herself. It's up to her, isn't it? But whatever she does do, I know that Liverpool and Britain will support her, and whatever she does next, I support 100%, whether she fights or not. But just like what an amazing career, you know, she's come back from some really low lows to then hit the highest highs. So I think that she has an amazing career. That's what I think, lads.
Staggering career. When you think, was it nearly 13 years ago, the Olympics, and she's gone on. You know, who was the girl that beat her? There was that massive. She got stopped in 3 rounds. I can't think of the name of the girl.
The Brazilian girl who's in prison for life.
Yeah, in 3 rounds. In 3 rounds, and she's just bounced back, done that. And what are they? She's still doing it even now at the highest level at 41 years of age. That's what astounds me. You know, and that was just a changing of the guard the other night. The year Natasha was in the Olympics, Lauren was boxing in the European Youth Championships. You know, just incredible. But no, great career at 41 years of age. I hope she retires now anyway. Nothing to prove.
I remember I was following Tasha when she was. I remember getting a text when I was at work. We did a monthly diary in the build-up to a qualifying for the London Games. So all the way back in 2011. And I remember being at work getting a text saying she'd qualified in Finland. And for her to have reached what she's done now, it's insane. The tempting thing, Jazza, will be she could still go up to £154 and win a world title.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. So she wants to fight. It's like, who's to stop it?
Yeah. Welterweight is difficult because Lauren, Sandy Ryan and Michaela Meyer are all good girls. But like middleweight in the female boxing, it's pretty thin, isn't it? She could easily go up and do that. So she'll have to have a battle with herself about whether to stop or carry on.
Blows my mind more than anything, John. She's got a daughter as well, you know. And it's like,
that's what I was.
You've got the kids for half an hour yourself. You just want to go for a bit of peace, don't you? She's like a mother and a boxer. It's crazy.
Yeah. Round 5. Big and excellent Queensbury show in Liverpool on Saturday. And the fight I'm looking forward to is Andrew Cain against Charlie Edwards. We were talking earlier on about the fight for Hrgovic, Joyce against Hrgovic. This is a fight I feel that's just wrong for Charlie Edwards against Cain. Spiteful, nasty, fresher, and again, someone who's still got something to prove after his defeat against, was it Ion Bolnat, wasn't it? I just think very, very hard night for Charlie Edwards this weekend in the British and is the European on the line as well? British and a very hard night for him. And I've got a feeling this might be Andrew Cain's sort of breakout performance after he had that setback 2 or 3 fights ago.
Yeah, 100%. And like I went to Great Britain team with Charlie, Steve, lads, and Charlie was a very dedicated fighter, and I've always got on with Charlie. But like, I texted Charlie a while ago. He texted me saying, "Well done about me last fight." And I said, "Andrew's my girl's cousin, so I must be on the fence of this one, lad. But like, I'll have to go Team Andrew all the way, because if not, I'll see him at his nan's. You know, our kids are cousins and stuff like that. So Andrew Cain is a like unbelievable talent to see him coming through. As a kid, I was in the same gym as him and Peter McGrail. And just the talent inside him, it's unbelievable. And despite, as you say, that's genuine, you know. He's not faking when he puts this persona. It's not no persona. That's just Andrew, you know. He's Andrew. Like, he's 100% Andrew. He's vicious, you know. So yeah, I'll see Isnana Carroll with the belts on when he wins them. So I just best of luck to both lads. But yeah, Andrew's found family now, so it's best of luck to Andrew Cain. Yeah,
he's one of my favourites to watch in the country, Andrew Cain, when he's on. He's brutal finisher, isn't he? Knockout power for a small guy. And I like him. I know a lot of people, he gives off an intimidating aura, doesn't he?
Yeah,
the way he carries himself. When he actually talks, Jazz will know, he's a great lad. He's funny, but he's just very, very intense. And when Andrew says something, he means it. He definitely means it.
Not action, yeah.
You know what I'm looking forward to this week? Too many times now, the fighters, they may as well live with each other in the build-up to fights. We have to do so many head-to-heads and so many press conferences. These two haven't laid eyes on each other because Cain didn't turn up to the press conference. On Thursday, Cain and Edwards are going to come together in Liverpool. And believe me, by the end of Thursday night, more people will be looking forward to this than Nick Ball.
Yeah. Really? Go on. Sorry, Jazz.
No, when he gets into his flow as well, when Andrew's in his flow, I've always seen this as a kid, he gets into his flow. You just, as a boxing fan, you start laughing. It's so pretty to watch, you know. It's unbelievable talent, like on stage.
6th and final round. John Evans, a fight you mentioned a lot on here. Dalton Smith and Adam Azim.
Yeah, what's it going to take for this fight to happen? You know, Dalton's been announced. He's keeping busy, which I'm pleased about. He's fighting a Canadian who I'm not going to lie, we're supposed to know everything on here, but I'd never heard of the guy. But it's good that Dalton's ticking over. Adam Azim won Young Boxer of the Year a couple of weeks ago. I don't think Adam's got anything scheduled at the moment. But Dalton's been moved to a 2,500 seat arena. Both sides are saying this fight's not going to happen because the money's not there. Well, if at this stage of Dalton's career he's going into a 2,500 arena with a big undercard, when is the money ever going to be there? They keep talking about Hillsborough Stadium. God, what are they going to do? You know, are they going to do it in the dugout, in front of the dugouts? This is going to take both fighters to win world titles for it to be a major unification fight, for it to do any number of tickets at the moment. And I just wonder if they both need each other more than we think. Do they both need each other to become a star, to sell the tickets? Because this moving in parallel, it's not working for either person at the moment.
But or the other way, John, is for both of them to, show a bit of grit and say, look, it's just the only fight I want to their people, because there's not even, usually we've been getting these great fights lately, fights that weren't expected happening. This one, John, I saw you earlier on, this was your topic. There's not even a sniff of it happening, is there? No. There's not even. It's not even. You talk a lot on the pod about wanting to happen. There's not even a glimmer of it happening, is there? So I don't see where it's suddenly going to come from, because obviously both sides, it seems to me, are keeping the other from each other.
I want to play devil's advocate, lads, and talk from experience in my fight against Kid Galahad. Someone you both know, we can fight at the world title stage, or we can fight at British level stage. He had Gale and Groves, and he went on to fight for world titles. In my situation, I lost, and we both up for Young Fighter of the Year. Similar circumstances. I accepted to fight with Kid Galahad at English title level, and they were smart enough to say, no, we'll do for English title. So maybe they both believe that we're not fighting for the British title. We're both going to win a world title. So what do you want us to do? Just one of us lose, or we can rack up our points and we'll fight for a world title. I don't know what they're going to do, lads, but sometimes the business does outweigh the love of the fans for some fighters. Some fighters like to be admired by the fans, and that's why they take them fights. So it's case by case scenario. I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
and it's not the end of the road for either by any stretch. It's almost as if they're being wrapped in this cotton and wool. Gosh, you lose that fight, the investment's gone.
Yeah. No, I just think it's the last round, isn't it? I just think that the way these people are talking now, even if Dalton Smith wins a world title and Adam Azim wins a world title, there's still not going to be the money available, because neither of them have been able to become a star. Neither of them sell the amount of tickets that's going to generate the money to pay them what they want. Something's going to have to give at some point. But hey.
And I think what is a factor as well, lads, it's become so brutal if you take a loss from a promotional standpoint. Yeah. If that makes sense. So maybe that doesn't allow them to make that decision, you know what I mean? Because it is a big risk for both fighters. But the way you lose and you're out like that can be a bad thing as well, not worth the risk sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Are we going to see him? It could be one of these fights we never get, or when we do, it's 3 years too late, John. Let's hope, but there's not a glimmer. Anyway,
Dalton Smith, the real deal, in my opinion.
I think we used to, when he first turned pro, at one stage, when we had about 5-6 fights, I thought he's one of the best fighters in the world under 10 fights.
Yeah. Yeah, he's outstanding. But Azim is as well. It's the perfect fight, and I just hope it happens at what. Well, I tell you what, and let's agree that let's hope it happens at 140. It might be another 18 months down the line, but if these two both move up to 147, I don't think it'd be the same. It's as long as it happens at 140, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Would you accept it like a Cain and Bruce situation, or would you not have that?
It's too far down the line, that, isn't it? Too far down. I remember, when you boxed Galahad. I was there, Jazza, when you boxed Galahad the first time.
First one. Yeah. I was at the second one.
Heartbreaker.
Second one, sure. Yeah.
I can't remember either of them, lads.
Hey, I tell you what, though, you talk of people protecting the zero. You haven't done too bad for someone who's lost 5 times, have you, mate? Eh?
I've lost about 15 fights, that's why.
Yeah, you lost 5, isn't it? Is a pro? Is it 5, 4, 5? Not bad, mate. You've done all right for yourself. Yeah. Still going strong. Anyway, thanks for joining us this week, Jazza. Thank you, as always, John Evans. Sorry I might have sounded like I'm in some Bulgarian TV studio, but I'm not. Thanks, everyone, for watching or listening, and hope my sound doesn't spoil your viewing or listening. Thanks very much. See you next week.
For all boxing info, news, and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.